Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron, and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Sunday evening, another late night live stream. Now I wasn't actually planning on doing this one, to be fair, partly because Everton have absolutely drained me of every single emotion possible over the last 72 hours, and the last thing I really wanted to do, if I'm being completely honest, on my Sunday evening was sit down and talk about Everton. It was an absolutely dreadful day to be an Evertonian yesterday, another defeat, and whilst there was a bit more effort, whilst there was a bit more desire, I suppose, a bit more commitment from the players, and whilst it was lovely to see Duncan Ferguson on the touchline, ultimately at the end of the day the outcome was still the same as it's been for the last however many months or so, and that was a disappointing defeat in a game that we really needed to win. The rest of the fixtures over the weekend haven't been particularly kind to us. After Burnley getting a point against Arsenal today wasn't great. Newcastle winning yesterday was dreadful as well. Obviously Norwich won earlier on in this weekend, so it hasn't been a particularly great weekend to be an Evertonian. Just when you're sitting down on your Sunday night, your Sunday evening, and you're watching YouTube or you're watching telly and you're having your tea and you're thinking, right, okay, it's been a bad weekend for Everton, but at the very least, it's the weekend's over now. It's Sunday. Surely nothing else can come up. Surely there can be no more bad news. It's Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Surely we can just chill and everything will be calm until at least tomorrow, and then a little bit of news breaks, and that news is that, according to some journalists over in Portugal, Vitor Pereira is set to become the new Everton manager. Now, let's get into where these rumours are coming from, and let's get into the, as I said, the credibility behind a lot of these rumours, because this has really come out of nowhere. So it started earlier on this afternoon, actually, from about 6:30, from Sammy Mokbel of the Daily Mail, and he said that Vitor Pereira is emerging as a serious contender for the Everton manager's job. Farhad Moshiri is set to be eager to make a forward-thinking appointment. Alex Kruk then stated that Vitor Pereira has been interviewed for the Everton job, and TalkSport understand he is emerging as the front runner. We then fast forwarded a little bit later on into the night. Fabrizio Romano said that Everton are still looking for a new manager. Meeting confirmed with Vitor Pereira. He's one of the candidates, but no decision made yet. No big changes on Fabio Cannavaro after the last interview, and no way for Roberto Martinez. And then Portuguese journalist Pedro Sepulveda actually said that Vitor Pereira and his technical team will travel tomorrow to sign with Everton. There is already a full agreement between the coach and the English side. Now, this was then sort of tweeted and put out there by a couple of journalists, Zach Lowry being one of them. He is a journalist for GFFN and a couple of other things, and he said that Vitor Pereira will become Everton's new manager and travel to Everton tomorrow, as per Pedro Sepulveda. And then somebody asked how reliable this source is, how reliable, this specific journalist is, and Zach Lowry said very reliable. Pedro Almeida, who's also a Portuguese journalist, tweeted the Portuguese flag next to a blue circle emoji, which I can only assume is in the similar vein as well. Alan Meyer said, a very reliable contact of mine in Portugal has told me he is meeting with Everton tomorrow, but I've not had anything this end. All I can do is wait and see. And yeah, a couple of other journalists, a couple of other sources saying that he is due to meet with Everton tomorrow. Some sources are saying that it's not quite as far down the line as others are, but he very certainly is on Everton's list, and is the newest candidate and the newest name for us to sit down and have a chat about, isn't it? And let's not forget that this time last Sunday we sat down at 12:30, 1 o'clock Monday morning, and we were talking about Roberto Martinez, who had emerged as the leading candidate, and it looked at that point that Roberto Martinez was set to become the new Everton manager. Obviously now it's Vitor Pereira, who, by the way, was on Everton's list to replace David Moyes back in 2013. I think he was on Everton's list to replace Sam Allardyce before Marco Silva come in as well. It very much seems like Bill Kenwright and Farhad Moshiri have digged up the list of managers that they wanted 4 or 5 years ago and said, right, okay, who's available? Oh, Vitor Pereira's been sacked by Fenerbahce. Let's go and bring him in. again, this one is really, really, really worrying for me. Really, really worrying. And sort of the most worrying thing about it is there's also a couple of sources and a couple of journalists suggesting that Kia Joraban has had a say in this decision as well. Apparently, Kia Joraban and Farhad Moshiri have sat down and discussed Vitor Pereira and, wanting to interview him to become the next Everton manager. Firstly, why the fuck is Kia Joraban being involved with Everton Football Club? Get that man as far away from Everton Football Club as possible. He is nothing but a bad influence on Farhad Moshiri. He makes absolutely dreadful decisions because he's only interested in one thing, and that's how much money he's got in the back pocket. Nothing to do with Everton, nothing to do with Everton being a success. He's only interested in what's in his back pocket. And obviously, some of these rumours and stuff that we're reading may be true, may not be true. And, it's not confirmed that Kia Joraban has had any involvement in this. But let's be honest, it screams Kia Joraban having an involvement in this, which is very, 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 very frightening. Now, let's have a little look at Vitor Pereira for a second. Because, it's only fair if we are, if we're going to employ him, if we're going to look to bring him in, then it is only fair that we have a look at his stats as a manager. So he's managed quite a few teams, actually. Started with Porto. He was the assistant manager. Well, he managed teams prior to that, but we'll go with Porto from 2010 to 2011. He was the assistant from 2011 to 2013. He managed the first team. He was the first team manager. He then, in 2013 to 2014, managed Al Ali. 2015, he was the manager of Olympiacos. He took charge of Fenerbahce from 2015 to 16. He then joined 1860 Munich in 2017. Now, this is something that we're going to talk about in a bit more depth in just a moment, so keep that appointment in mind. 1860 Munich. He then joined Shanghai SIPG in 2017 to 2020, and his latest job was Fenerbahce last year. He did win the Premier League in both of his seasons. Managing Porto in 2013. He worked in several countries, winning a Greek League and Cup double with Olympiacos in 2015, and he won the Chinese Super League with Shanghai SIPG in 2018. And this has led to some reports saying that he is a serial winner, and some reports saying that, Everton will have a great coup if we bring him in. Now, if you look at his overall stats in football, he has managed 530 games, won 294, drawn 129 and lost 107. Goals that have gone in for his teams are 922 and against are 497. Now, this is as of the 19th of December last year. And his win percentage on average is 55%. Now, interesting really, because in Shanghai it was 58%, which bearing in mind the league that is being played in. Fenerbahce most recently was 44%. 30% at 1860 Munich, which we're going to talk about in a second. Fenerbahce, the first time round, 61%, 66% at Olympiacos. So looking at them stats, you'd look and you think it's not actually that bad of an appointment. He's won trophies in a lot of the countries he's managed in, and his win percentages aren't too bad. But I want to bring your attention to an article that I can't take any credit for. El Bretland, who I'm sure if you're on Twitter and you're familiar with Everton's Twitter, you will know of El. He tweets a lot of stuff about Everton. Very, very clued up guy. Really, really sound fella. And he's just tweeted something that is really, really, really interesting about Vitor Pereira. And that is, bear with me 2 seconds while I get it up. Because it's really, really important to this conversation and ultimately to Everton's search for a new manager. And that is that. So El Bretland said, just read that 1860 Munich consulted Kia Joraban in 2016 before appointing Vitor Pereira. Pereira lost 11 of his 20 matches in charge, and 1860 were relegated to Germany's third division in 2017. The article also reads that it was written in 2013, so that's not the same article, but in 2013 there was an article which stated that Pereira looks a bit lost when things go away from time to time. He can sometimes cut a lonely, angry figure, nor does he seem to be able to inspire his players when bad things happen. Now, it's all well and good winning trophies at, really good sides. Porto winning the league double, again, a league where Porto are very dominant in, winning the league over in China, which, again, I'm not going to disrespect and say is simple, but let's be honest, it's not as hard as it would be in a lot of other countries, especially with Shanghai SIPG, who are a big club over in China, and some of the other trophies he's won in Greece and stuff. Olympiacos, massive club over in Greece. That article there, which says that he doesn't seem to be able to sort of control things when things are going badly or motivate his players during bad times. And also the statement which reads that Kia Jordan actually consulted 1860 Munich before appointing Vitor Pereira, and then he joined the football club, lost 11 of 20 matches, and they were relegated, speaks volumes for me and sort of really, really hit home when I read it. If that's not a big enough red flag, then I don't know what is. Now, of course, if Vitor Pereira becomes the next Everton manager, I'll back him. I'll back him like I'll back any manager, and I'll hope that he's got enough quality and expertise, and he is this serial winning manager that some journalists are seeming to shout about. I would hope that he's got enough to keep us up. But considering 1860 Munich with 20 games to go, we're very clearly in a similar situation to what Everton are in at the moment. Now, granted, I don't know much about that 1860 Munich side. They may have had, problems with players. They mightn't have a lot of quality. They might, there might have been other mitigating circumstances that don't, completely correlate with this current Everton side. But Farhad Moshiri is taking advice, seemingly, what's being reported. As I said, we don't really know what's real and what isn't real, what's right and what's wrong, but what's being reported is Farhad Moshiri is taking advice from Kia Jordan on a manager who Kia Jordan gave advice to another side to a few years back, and that other side took the advice and ended up being relegated. Now, one thing is for absolute certain, and that is that we cannot afford for Vitor Pereira coming to Everton and losing 10 of the next 18 games. We've got less games to play in the Premier League than what 1860 Munich had to play that season. We can't afford for Vitor Pereira to come in and lose 18 games. Now, articles which state that he struggles to motivate players when things go wrong, and he can be an angry figure and stuff like that. It just doesn't ring true. It doesn't ring true. Sorry, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. It's another appointment that you look at and you think, what the fuck is going on at this football club? We've gone from Roberto Martinez, Vitor Pereira. Vitor Pereira is not an oldish coach by any sense of the imagination, but he's been in Porto, in Greece. He's won things there. He's also been relegated in Germany. Wayne Rooney, very different coaches to Vitor Pereira. Okay, you could say Frank Lampard, similar to Wayne Rooney, so they're in one bracket. Roberto Martinez is in a completely different bracket to the pair of them. If Everton have got this plan, if Everton have got this structure that the owner spoke about on Friday or whenever it was when he done his statement and said, we've got a structure, we want a manager that, fits the structure. What is the structure of Everton Football Club? Where are we going? What's the future look like? Why are we being linked with managers that don't correlate, that don't make sense, that don't, they've not really got much in common whatsoever? Again, why are we listening to Kia Jordan? It was proven time and time again, fucking shouldn't be anywhere near Everton Football Club or being allowed to make any form of decision. And if Farhad Moshiri allows him to, he can do one as well. He can go sell the club because you're dragging this club into the ground. You're dragging it into the ground. And this isn't even about Vitor Pereira. Vitor Pereira was linked with Everton when David Moyes left. Vitor Pereira was linked with Everton before Marco Silva come to the football club. He's clearly on a list that Everton just revert to when we sack a manager. Oh, we've sacked the manager. Let's go back to that list that we made fucking 15 years ago and pick somebody else that was on it. As if football doesn't change. As if those managers on that list haven't been in other jobs and failed. As if those managers on that list haven't been unsuccessful since they were put on the fucking list. There's never, again, it just doesn't make sense. It really, really, really doesn't make sense. And as I said, if Vitor Pereira is to become the new Everton manager, then of course I'll back him. Of course I'll get behind him. Of course I'll support him. But I just don't get it. The rumour suggesting that Kia Jordan is going to be involved in the interview, and he's picking the candidate with Farhad Moshiri. Why? We know this fella has only got his own interests at heart. He doesn't give a fuck about Everton Football Club. He was part of a board or a group of people that saw the downfall of QPR a few years back. He isn't interested in what Everton do. Why are we listening to him? He's proven time and time again that he can't make good footballing decisions. So why are we listening to what he's got to say? And that 1860 Munich article really hit home. It really, really did for me, because I looked at it and I thought that I honestly, I can see the same article being written, but with Everton being in there instead of 1860 Munich in the next 3-4 months. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And at the minute, it is just rumours, and it is to be stressed that, the Portuguese press, a lot of the Portuguese press were reporting that, Matheus Nunes was guaranteed to sign for Everton, and he'd agreed his contract, and it was all done and dusted, and, in the summer, and then that fell to bits. So, take this obviously with a with a massive pinch of salt, but whether or not this is as far down the line as what some journalists seem to believe it is. And there are some journalists, as I said before, Portuguese journalists saying that this one is completed. He'll become the new Everton manager. It's an agreement. There's other journalists like Fabrizio Romano, who we would maybe see as a little bit more reliable, saying that it's not an agreement and that no decision has been made. But Vitor Pereira will be interviewed by Everton. Why? What do Everton see in Vitor Pereira? Does Machedi just go on Wikipedia like I've just done and go, oh, we won the league with Porto? Oh, we won the league with, Olympiacos? Oh, he's won the league in China. Won 3 leagues where he's been, so he must be an unbelievable manager. He's never managed in the Premier League. He's had, as far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if you're watching live or if you're watching his YouTube video, but as far as I'm aware, he's had one experience coming into his side in the situation that Everton are in. And that was 1860 Munich, and he lost 11 out of 20 games and they got relegated. And that was on the back of the advice of Keir Joroban. Do you know what I'd do if I was Everton's board? If I was Bill Kenwright, who's the biggest Evertonian, and we've had good times, that's a load of fucking nonsense as well. One final in 27 years in which we lost and got absolutely battered in, and 2 semi-finals in which, again, we both lost comfortably in. That isn't good times. One season finishing 5th under Roberto Martinez and then failing for 2 seasons on the bounce isn't good times. They're not good times, Bill. Good times are winning trophies. Good times are being in the Champions League, winning leagues. They're not good times, so don't you fucking dare have the brass bollocks to stand in front of fans and say, we've had good times. What about nil satis nisi optimum, eh, Bill? Take that off the crest then. Fuck that right off, because nothing but the best is good enough isn't one final that we lost in 20-odd years and 2 semi-finals that we lost in 20-odd years. That's not nothing but the best is good enough. That's, if we have a decent cup run, then that's all right. You may as well put that under there as well. If we have a decent cup run, that's sound. Fuck nil satis nisi optimum off, because the club don't go, the club don't follow this motto. They're all right putting it all over the, all over the shirts and all over the nothing but the best is good enough for Everton. Bollocks, absolute bollocks. Show it with your appointments. Show it with your decisions. Show it by going out and appointing managers that are going to take the club forward. If we were in July starting a Premier League season and the club were looking at Vitor Pereira, I'd think, well, okay, let's see how this one goes. It'll be interesting. As I said, one experience in being in the situation Everton in, and he was relegated. What are this club looking at? What are these idiots looking at? What are these people that run the club looking at to think, do you know what, this will be a good appointment? Go and speak to someone in 1860 Munich and say, when you were on the brink of relegation, when you brought in Vitor Pereira, how did it go? Nonsense, mate. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. And I will, I will back him if he comes in. Of course, I'll back him if he comes in, because he'll be the Everton manager and he deserves that. Ultimately, Vitor Pereira has applied for a job that I dare say a lot of managers have applied for. I dare say a lot of managers have. Chris says, night cam jumping off now, got work in the morning. Nice one, my mate. Thank you for getting involved. I dare say a lot of managers have applied for. And again, as I said, Vitor Pereira has done nothing wrong in this situation. You know, if he's interviewed and he interviews the best and he's getting given the job, then we'll have to get behind him. We'll have to back him. But I don't see how it makes sense. I honestly, I don't get it. I don't see how it makes sense. It doesn't. It really, really doesn't. But, you know, what can we do? Listen, this club are going to make an awful appointment anyway. Doesn't matter if it's Vitor Pereira. As I said earlier on today, I was on the Northwest Football podcast. If you haven't watched the Northwest Football podcast, then, you know, have a go and have a little listen to it. I was on there tonight. But as I said, on there, I personally, I don't think it really matters who the club employ. I think we're done and dusted. I really do. I just, as I said, I've said, you know, a number of times over the last week or so, this is the biggest decision Farhad Moshiri will ever make as the Everton manager by a long stretch, and he simply hasn't got the backbone to say no to his agent mates or the ability to make a decent enough decision to say no. He's incapable of doing that. He is incapable of doing that. So I think the damage is done at Everton. I don't see a way back for us. But the reality is that, you know, a lot of Blues skated over the Martinez stuff. And, oh yeah, but we're not getting Martinez now. So, you know, that doesn't matter. If the Belgium FA weren't as adamant that they wanted Roberto Martinez to manage at the World Cup, he would be the Everton manager now. And he would have been in charge on Saturday against Aston Villa. So let's not trust this board to make the right decision. Because not only have they made disastrous decisions year in, year out, but they've tried to do it again. They pushed, or somebody on that board pushed for Roberto Martinez. And as I said, I firmly believe that if it wasn't for the Belgium FA, Roberto Martinez would be the Everton manager now. Other people on the board wanted the likes of Jose Mourinho. Why? Because he's a Hollywood name. Same reason he wanted Rafa Benitez. Vitor Pereira isn't as much of a Hollywood name. And as I said, you know, I get why Moshiri would look at it and go, oh, he's won things. You know, and his win percentages don't look too bad. Other than the 1860 Munich job, it seems like he's done a good job where he's been. But there's Olympiacos fans on Twitter saying that he was the worst manager they've had in recent years. There's Fenerbahce. I don't know if anybody's seen that video of the Fenerbahce fan in the stands screaming at Pereira to change his formation during the game. You know, and he's won a league in China, which did no disrespect to the Chinese league, but, you know, again, he was at one of the best teams there when he won that league. I don't get it. And as I said, this club, I wasn't going to do a stream tonight because this club has drained me of every single emotion over the last 48 hours or so. And I'm at this point now where I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of having to think about them. I'm getting sick of having to talk about them. I'm getting sick of going every week and being disappointed. I'm getting sick of these fucking idiots at the top making dreadful decisions week in, week out, and then coming out and backing it. We're doing a strategic review of ourselves. Yeah, that's sound, that. That's sound. Sure, a lot of businessmen do strategic, and businesswomen do strategic reviews of themselves, don't they? I'm sure when businesses are failing, the people at the top say, do you know what? We'll review ourselves here. I'm sure they do that, because that's how business works, isn't it? This club is being run into the ground. Absolutely run into the ground by the owners at the top of it, who haven't got a clue. Again, I will repeat, if Kia Joraban is involved in this decision, why? Why are we allowing that fella to come anywhere near Everton Football Club? Why? Why isn't Farhad Moshiri saying, do us a favour, Kia, stop getting involved. I'm not interested in what you've got to say. You own no part of Everton Football Club. You're not on the board. You're not a shareholder. You're not a fan. Do us a favour. Fuck off. Why isn't he doing that? Because he's his mate. And he trusts what he says. Vitor Pereira might come in and be unbelievable and I might eat my words, but the situation that Everton are in, he's been in this situation before and it didn't go well. It didn't go well. There was a reason why the club decided to appoint Roberto Martinez over him in 2013 when David Moyes left. Why? Because Roberto Martinez had just been relegated with Wigan. It wasn't like Roberto Martinez was an unbelievable world-class manager. Dwight, do me a favour, mate. I literally haven't got the time to be pissing about with you, so see you later. I don't get it. And it's nothing against Vitor Pereira. Absolutely nothing against him. And if he comes in, as I said, I'll back him. But I just don't get it. It's worrying. It's worrying. And if you're not worried about this, and you look at winning a league in Greece, and winning a league in China, and winning a league in Portugal, and think, we'll be signed with him, go and read that story about 1860 Munich. Go and read the story and listen to the fact that Kia Joraban advised them, and they were relegated not so long after. I don't know. But I have serious concerns about this football club. Serious concerns, because it's run by people who haven't got a clue. Bill Kenwright hasn't got a clue and shouldn't be anywhere near making decisions. This is the same fella who pushed for Roberto Martinez to return, the same manager who fans protested to get out in 2016 because he failed and he wasn't good enough. The same manager that Farhad Moshiri sacked because he failed and he wasn't good enough. Farhad Moshiri wants a Hollywood name, clearly. Otherwise, Jose Mourinho wouldn't have even come into the conversation. He wouldn't have even come into the conversation. Vitor Pereira, probably the soundest fella in the world. Might be the soundest fella in the world. Massive risk. Never managed in the Premier League. Only time he's managed in this situation, he was relegated. Monumental risk. And as I've said before, Everton can't afford to take monumental risks. They simply can't. You look at Saturday. On Saturday, we were managed by Duncan Ferguson. Duncan Ferguson, club legend. A man that the players before, previously in 2019, had worked their bollocks off for. Had battled, had beaten Chelsea, a really good Chelsea team. Pardon me. Working for Duncan Ferguson. A man who I think we all would have said on Friday, if Duncan can't get the most out of this squad, if Duncan can't get everything out of these players, then who will? And yeah, they worked a bit harder. And yeah, they battled a little bit more. There was a bit more desire. There was a bit more fight. There was a little bit more commitment. I appreciate that and I understand all of that. But we still lost the game of football. And the reality is, quality-wise, there wasn't an awful lot, was there? There wasn't an awful lot. So, how will Vitor Pereira turn this round? Maybe he will, because maybe we'll have a bounce because it's a new manager. Maybe he'll bring something a little bit different. But the reality of the situation is that's a gigantic risk. And a gigantic risk that Everton should not be taking at this current stage. And anybody that thinks we're too good to go down, or there's 3 teams worse than us, name me 3 teams worse than Everton at the moment. Name me them. Name me 3 teams worse than Everton. Statistically, there's not 1 team worse than Everton. Newcastle have just won this weekend. Norwich have won 2 on the bounce. Burnley have took a point from Arsenal. When was the last time Everton took a point in the Premier League? Chelsea? Was it Chelsea? Let me have a look, because it's gonna, that's gonna do me head in. So we lost last, on Saturday. We lost the week before. We lost to Brighton, Chelsea, 16th of December. 16th of December. We're now the 23rd of January. We've played Brighton. We've played Norwich. We've played Villa, who aren't very good. And we've played... Who else have we played in that time, actually? Because there was someone else. So since we last took a point in the Premier League, we've played Norwich, we've played Brighton, and we've played Villa. Yeah. No points. There's not 3 teams worse than Everton in the Premier League. I'm sorry, but there isn't. We're the worst team in the Premier League at the moment. And I know some people will say we're staying up, and we might stay up. We might stay up because we're only a few points away from staying up, or, a couple of wins away from being right up there. And I get we had a couple of games postponed. But the reality is, can anybody see us getting points from Burnley? I can't at the minute. Leicester? No. You know, it was the other game that we had postponed. We had another. Was it Villa again? Did we get Villa postponed? We had another game postponed, didn't we? I don't see a way out of this. I don't. And, you know, Wormy's right. Mashiri said the board are dead good. Mashiri come out in a statement and said about how great Bill Kenwright is and how great Denise Barrett-Baxendale is at her job. And you know what? Denise Barrett-Baxendale might be boss at her job. She might have nothing to do with the footballing side of things. And if that's the case, then fine. Bill Kenwright shouldn't be making footballing decisions. He sold the club in 2016 to Farhad Mashiri. Pay him off. Give him a lifetime presidency fucking token thing or whatever it is. Let him go to games. Let him, turn up in a suit, get greeted, get seated lovely, all of that. But as soon as he opens his mouth and starts to make decisions, shut him down. Because he shouldn't be making decisions. Newcastle, Alex says, yeah, Newcastle, who have just won a game and have got this boost at the moment because they're new ownership. Norwich were one of the worst teams the Premier League has ever seen a few weeks ago. I think they're 3 points behind us. The Newcastle game is a 20-pointer. Never mind a 6-pointer, it's a 20-pointer. If we don't win that game, I don't see a way back for us. And I look at this Everton team now. I look at them under Duncan Ferguson on Saturday. I look at them over the last few weeks or so. And I look at the players, the performances, the lack of quality. And I think, where does our next win come from? Where does it come from? Somebody tell me in the comments, where does it come from? Joe says, Vitor Pereira got relegated with 1870 Munich as assistant. Mike, no chance. No chance, Joe. You're not getting me with that one, mate. No chance. Dark Arch, you really rate DCL. Listen, I'm not going to get into the DCL stuff. Dom's had a bad injury. He's come back. He'll be fine. What Dom really could have done with is, score the penalty against Brighton. Really, he could have done with burying that and stopped trying to be clever and putting it in the top bin, but he didn't. And again, he'll come good. He will come good. He will. He'll score again. Yes, he missed the chance the other day. He's rusty. He's only just getting back. I've got no issue with Dom. He wasn't great the other day, and he should have scored that chance. But Dom will be okay. Dom will be okay. And there's no need for a couple of bad games to say, oh, he's the worst striker ever. He's not. Are we back to the championship quality shout now, are we? Dom will be alright. Dom's not the issue. John Joe Kenny played on Saturday. And as much as he works hard, and as much as he gives the effort and the fight and the desire, and you know what? Fair fucking play to him. He's not a very good footballer. He just isn't. Mason Allgate, not a very good footballer. And people can have an issue with Dom. And Mikey said we accept this. Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't Romelu Lukaku. He's not Andy Gray. He's not, he's not fucking Cristiano Ronaldo. He isn't any of them people. He isn't any of them players. He's not as good as those players. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't the issue with Everton Football Club at the moment. He isn't. Where are we? David's donated £4.99 to the team. Thank you very much, David. Says, keep using this platform for good, Cam. A lot of us need the level-headedness that you bring, especially with the media and all. Thank you very much, Dave. That means a massive amount to me, honestly. I really appreciate it. 280 people watching again. 280 people at 25 to 12 on a Sunday night. Unbelievable. If you could hit them likes, it would mean a massive, massive amount to me. If you could get to 100 likes, that'd be amazing. Semi says, we said there's no way back before the Norwich game. When do we stop saying that, Cam? Well, we're not winning, are we? So, what's the way back? Will says, can't see us coming up for a long time. Look at the likes of Brentford. They've just come up 10 times better than us. We're the next Sunderland. I agree if we go down. Robbie, what's happening? Robbie says, we'll win the cup. We'll win the FA Cup, as in 95, then move on. I don't think we'll get anywhere near the FA Cup, if I'm being honest with you, mate. I don't. This team hasn't got the bottle to win a trophy. This club has got a loser mentality, integrated into it. And whatever you think of Kenwright, whatever you think of Bill Kenwright, and his influence on Everton or his status as an Evertonian, again, I'm sure Bill Kenwright is a lovely fella. I'm sure he is, and I've got nothing against Bill Kenwright, nothing against him. But when the chairman of the football club, who's been here for so long, openly comes out and says that basically going to Wembley for a cup final and losing is a good time, because that's what he was referring to, wasn't he? Let's be honest, he was referring to going to Wembley and losing as being one of the good times. That's where it stems from, the top. What Bill should have been saying is losing a final at Wembley isn't good enough. We need to be winning these. So with Everton fucking Football Club, we need to be winning these trophies. Not turning up and losing and saying, well, at least we were here. No, nonsense. Turning up and winning. That's where this mentality comes from. And it trickles down. You wonder why you've got players on the pitch who are losers. Because that's all our squad is, a squad full of losers. They don't know how to win. Players come to Everton, Champions League winners, winners of league titles, managers winning of league titles, European Cup, Premier League, this, that and the other, and all of a sudden they turn to losers when they come to Everton, because we accept mediocrity. This football club accepts mediocrity. It accepts that, we're like that. You know what we're like? Do you know what I think we're like? And I was a very competitive kid growing up. Very competitive kid, and I'm sure that, a lot of people where everyone's very competitive. We're like that, when you're doing something and somebody's there and they go, it's not about the winning, it's about the taking part, and you go, shut up, it's about the winning. Obviously it's about the winning. I'm not here to take, I'm here to win, and if I'm not here to win, then I'm not being here at all. Everton are that, we're that sort of saying, aren't we? It's not about the winning, it's about the taking part. No, it's not. It's about fucking winning. Football is a sport about winning. When those pundits go on Sky Sports and it says Jamie Carragher, this time Champions League winner with Liverpool, and this time FA Cup winner with Liverpool, Thierry Henry, invincible with Arsenal, this European Cup winner with Barcelona, whatever, this player, Roy Keane, 6-time Premier League winner, whatever it is, what are Everton players going to say? Turned up and took part. It's nonsense, mate. It's fucking nonsense. This club accepts mediocrity. It accepts it, and I'm not saying it's just Bill Kenwright, because at the end of the day, Bill Kenwright doesn't own this club anymore. There's a fella at the top of the club who hasn't got a clue about football. He's a problem. He allows his mates to get involved in Kia Joraban, who has been responsible for, ruining a lot of, a football club beforehand. I don't care about Everton winning league titles. Well, I do care about Everton winning league titles, but that's not the point of these streams, the point of these videos, the point of us as Blues. I'm not sitting here saying, if Everton don't win the league next season, I'm fuming, I'm angry. If Everton don't win the FA Cup, I'm fuming, I'm angry. This football is about winning. And if you're not winning, you're losing. If you come second, you've lost. If you get to a final and you don't win, you've lost. We didn't win getting to a final. We lost. If you get to a semi-final and you lose, you lost. There's no such thing as a good cut run. That saying can do one as well. I'm fucking annoyed with that. Would you take this and a good cut run? A good cut run is winning a cup. End of story. Nobody looks back and goes, remember that season where we had a really good cut run? But did you win it? No, we got knocked out in the semi-final, but we had a good cut run. Nonsense. A good cut run is winning a cup. Is this just me who thinks like this? Is this just my mentality? Because I feel like Everton's board sit down at the start of a season and go, well, if we have a good cut run and we get to like the quarters or the semis, that's a success. No, it's not. Good cut run is a load of nonsense. Winning a trophy is a good... Do you think Pep Guardiola turns to fucking Man City and goes, every time they play in the Carabao Cup, and goes, if we get a good cut run and we get to the semis, then that's all right? No. He says, we'll have a good cut run this year, and that's winning the trophy. Because these people are winners. The players are winners. It's integrated into them. Win every time they play. Whether they're playing Norwich, whether they're playing, bloody Rochdale in the Carabao Cup, or whether they're playing Liverpool in the title decider, it is rooted into them to win. A Manchester City fan sitting there now saying, oh, last season was boss, we got to a Champions League final, what a good time that was. No, they're sitting there saying, we didn't win, so it's a failure, it's not good enough, we need to win. It's about winning. Football is a sport about results and about winning. And not only are we not winning leagues or cups, that's another issue. If we were 6th and the owner was coming out and saying, we're having a good time, we're 6th, I'd say, well, that's not good enough, but at least we're in a stable situation. We're going to get fucking relegated if things don't change. We're not in a stable situation. We're not getting to a final of an FA Cup. We're not finishing just outside the top 4. I would give anything to finish to finish just outside the top 4, and you know, for Bill Kenwright to say this is a good time, and for us to say no, it's not. We want to be in the top 4. That'd be great, wouldn't it? But we're not. We're not. There's absolutely no positive to where Everton are at the moment. No positive. And I really, really pray to whoever is above that if Vitor Pereira becomes the new manager of Everton, I really, really, really hope he is an absolute gigantic success. Gigantic success. I hope he wins everything. I hope he's boss. I hope we make a chant for him. I hope him and his luscious, lovely beard standing on that sideline in that technical area is the best manager Everton have had in years. I hope he's amazing. Amazing. But the reality is, I went out last night for a drink with my friends, and most of them are Evertonians, and I said to all of them, if I offered you now 17th place, would you snatch my hand off? And every single one of them, without fucking fail, went, yes, I'd snatch your hand off. I'm asking everyone watching, there's 293 people watching in the live comments, and I guarantee 99% of us all are Blues. Answer that question. If I offered you now 17th position this season, would you snatch my hand off for it? That's how desperate this situation is with Everton. Because there's genuine fear that will go down. And if we go down, it won't. And Vitor Pereira is managing the club. It won't be Vitor Pereira's fault. It won't be, Rafa Benitez's fault. It won't be Marco Silva's fault. It won't be, Roberto Martinez's fault. It'll be the board's fault for getting us to this situation. James, yeah, basic 100%. Of course, says Dark Arts. Alex, yep. Tane, yes. Jem, yes. I'll take 17th, says Testicles. Will, yes. 100% I would. Wayne, yep, says Jason. Yep, says Matt. Unknown says yep, as long as we stay up. Kado, yep. School of Science, Luke says yep. EFC Graphics said I'll bite your hand off for it. White Shadow, yep. Dan, 100%. Jacob, yep. Pratt, yep. Everyone and Dave, yep. Agree totally. 100% I'd take, says Dave. Gavin, yes. Joe, yes. Gavin again, yes. Jacob, yep. Again, this is 17th. We're Everton fucking Football Club, and we're sitting here at 12 on a Sunday night on the 23rd of January saying, yeah, we'll take 17th. Give us 17th all day long, snatch your hand off for it. Just a reminder that pre-Farhad Moshiri, we were, under David Moyes, pretty much fighting for Europe every year. Other than that season where we finished 17th, we never really finished outside the top 7 or 8. Once or twice we might have finished 9th, 10th. We never really finished outside the top 7 or 8. What would we give now? And I remember finishing 8th with David Moyes and being fuming that we'd finished 8th. Why are we finishing 8th? Should be finishing 7th, should be finishing 6th, 5th, should be in Europe. The seasons that we weren't in Europe under David Moyes were failures. I know you're home next week, I'll be looking forward to seeing you, mate. They were failures. That was when we looked and we went, we've had an awful season this season. We hadn't finished in Europe. European nights. And Joe said in the comments before, I look back at the cut run in 2015 Europe and see it as a good cut run. And making memories is what it's about. And again, not the cut run thing isn't about a good cut run being, if you go away with Everton and you watch Everton in Europe, it's one of the best things you'll ever do. And that the memories you create. I went to Lille. I've been to Split. I've been around to watch Everton in Europe, and they're great days. But the reality is, if I went to a Liverpool fan or a Man City fan or a Barcelona fan or a Man United fan and they said, yeah, but we won the league, we won the Champions League, we won this, and I went, yeah, but I went to Lille in 2015. We got knocked out in the round of 16 by Dynamo Kiev, but I went to Lille. There's nothing. This club is got failure ingrained within it, and that won't change until the people at the top change. And Farhad Moshiri, I remember him coming in and me and a lot of Blues at the time thinking, this is it. This is where we take it up to the next level. And I've got no doubt that Farhad Moshiri wants the best for Everton. And I've got no doubt that Bill Kenwright wants the best for Everton. But these people aren't fit for purpose. They're not good enough to bring it. So move on and bring people in that are good enough to bring it. And if you're Farhad Moshiri and you're not going to sell the club, employ people that are good enough to bring success to Everton Football Club. And if you're Bill Kenwright and you want the best for Everton Football Club and you love us as much as you say you do and you're the biggest Evertonian, then you shouldn't be coming out and saying that finishing a season where you get to a final and lose is a good time. It's not a good time. It's not. It's failure. Why are we accepting mediocrity? Why are we accepting failure? I wasn't born in the 80s, but I know a lot of people watching live now were born in the 80s. Seen Everton win leagues, the best team in the world, win European Cups, FA Cups. If I'd have said to you back then, fast forward 40 years, and we'll be stating that a one cup final in 27 years is a success, and we lost that cup final, what would you say? Those people would say, don't be stupid, we're not this club or that club, we're Everton Football Club, we're here to win. I grew up with failure, as Robbie said, but we grew up this way, so what is success? Not every Blue did. I speak to Evertonians on a daily basis who've seen us win league titles, European titles, fighting, and as I said, this isn't even about winning league titles. This isn't even about winning European titles. This isn't even about winning. This is about the message that the club gives. If the board were coming out now and saying, this isn't good enough, and, you know, we're going to bring the right people in to sort this out, then I'd be saying, do you know what? Let's go then. But Moshiri's coming out and saying, no, the board are great. They're good at the jobs. Kenwright's coming out and saying, we've had good times. They're accepting this mediocrity, accepting it. Moshiri can come out all he likes and goes, we know it's not being good enough. The next sentence, mate, you're talking about how brilliant the board are, so do me a favour. Yeah, I don't know. Steve Kelly, what's happening? Steve says they should be charged with gross negligence and struck off as directors if they appoint him. Never managed in England, poor record everywhere he's been apart from a 2-horse race league. As I said, mate, again, I'll back him if he comes in, and I think there's probably worse managers we've been linked with. Roberto Martinez would have been a worse appointment than Vitor Pereira, for example. But the only time he's been in this situation, he was relegated. As Gavin says, only Liverpool and Arsenal have won more league titles than us when I first started supporting them. Would never imagine we'd be in this state 35 years on. Well, let's have a look at, most successful English clubs titles in terms of league titles. So where are we? Oh, league trophy winners. So you've got right. So Liverpool 19 league titles, sound. Manchester United 20 league titles, sound. Arsenal 13 league titles, sound. Have a guess who's next under that list. Just have a guess. Have a wild guess. Have a wild guess about who is next under that list. After Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal, who we all know are giants of English football, whether we like them or not, that's the truth. Have a guess who's under that, who's next under that. Who's the fourth most successful English football club for league titles? Forget European trophies for a second. Who's the fourth most successful football club for league titles in this country? While we're guessing that, Alfie has donated £4.49 as well. Thank you very much, Alfie. He says, I'm going to Newcastle away, and I'm really nervous, just like everyone. I haven't seen our club win a trophy in my generation with a laughing stock. Couple of guesses in there. Couple of right guesses. It's Everton Football Club. 9 league titles. City have got 7. I think Chelsea have got something like 7 as well in that time. Let me just have a look again. Let's go to history. Nothing wrong on the history. So this is from 1871-72 to the 2021 season. So last season. Chelsea have got 6. So even if they won it this year, they wouldn't overtake Everton. City have got 7, and as of Aston Villa. So even if City won it this year, there'd still be 1 behind Everton. 9 league titles. 4th most successful football club for league title wins in this country. And we're accepting one FA Cup final in 25 years as success. I don't know what to say. I really, really, really don't know what to say. I don't get it. I don't get how far we've fallen. Even as I said, it's not even about, titles and leagues and winning the Champions League. I don't expect Everton to win the Champions League. I don't expect Everton to win the league title. I don't expect Everton to even be in the top four. I expect Everton I expect the owners and the people at the top of Everton Football Club to want what's best for Everton Football Club. I expect the owners and the people at the top to follow the slogan that is on the shirt, on the crest, on the badge that we, adore to. Nil satis nisi optimum. Nothing but the best is good enough. One FA Cup final in 25 years, the best? No, it's not. Chelsea are below us in terms of league titles won. Granted, they've won, obviously, European Cups. I get that. If they don't win a league title 2 years on the bounce, they sack the manager. And a lot of people criticise Chelsea's way of working and Roman Abramovich's business model. And a lot of people criticise it. A lot of people say it's cutthroat and it's this, that and the other. Football's a cutthroat business. Since Roman Abramovich has come into Chelsea, they've won more trophies than any football club in England. Why? Because he doesn't accept mediocrity. The minute things go wrong, he changes it. Whether that's right or wrong, whether Chelsea fans like it or not, Chelsea fans come on social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, moaned when Frank Lampard was sacked. Moaned, said it was an awful decision. He's a legend, this, that and the other. They won the Champions League a few months later. And we're given what I can only accept is a night that I could only dream of. Jason says Jimmy says we're not accepting it, Cam, but what can we do? Have a sponsor citizen. I'm not saying fans are accepting it. I'm saying the football club is accepting it. not fans. Obviously, we don't accept it. Fanbag says, just saw your live, so jumped on him in Australia. What time is it there? It is currently 5 to 12. I'm jumping off in a minute because I've got to get up for work early in the morning, so I can't stay up much later. But yeah, if you are enjoying, please hit that like button because it would mean a massive, massive amount to me. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe because that'd be great as well. 320 odd people watching again. Unbelievable numbers. If we could hit those likes, that'd be great. If we're new to the channel and we could subscribe, that'd be great as well. I think someone mentioned about positives from Fenerbahce fans. Vitor Pereira plays 2 teams in the league title like Scotland, Turkey, Portugal. He come to the Premier and get schooled. Just listening to Twitter Space, some positive things being said about Pereira from Fenerbahce fans, says Joe. Listen, again, stats-wise, win rate and, titles won in those countries. He's not a particularly awful manager. And as I said, there was worse options out there, but Vitor Pereira has been in this situation before and was relegated with 1860 Munich. And have a fucking guess. To anyone new to the channel, have a guess who had a say in that decision as well to bring him to 1860 Munich. Whammy says, Cam, the board come in, eat their garbage, drink their juice, cup and go. We want to come first, yeah, but all I do is, first, these now let's watch Teletubbies. As I said, again, for me, it's just this club accept being shite. From players to management to owners, they accept being shite. It's just like when you come to Everton, it's like ingrained in the club. Yeah, we're shite. It's like the club. It's like if somebody come into Everton and they had an introduction, day one, somebody at the club would go, just so you know, we're shit. So, if you're shit at your job, that's sweet because we like being shit. Because that's what we run our club off, being shit. If you're shit, that's even better. If you're good, then we probably won't let you do your job. But if you're shit, then that's sound. Honestly, I don't understand how we're falling. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get how we've fallen so far. And to think that a lot of Blues, including myself, weren't happy with the David Moyes days. We wanted more. We wanted Europe, Champions League. We wanted to be fighting at the top. We had a new owner, 500 million investments. Oh my God, we're going to be like City winning league titles. What would we give now to be back in the early 2000s being managed by David Moyes? Have our Everton back. Teams that fight. Teams that show passion, desire, commitment, work rate. David Moyes instilled a winning mentality into this football club. He wanted what was best for Everton Football Club. And I'd have him back in a heartbeat. An absolute heartbeat. And he says, you want to buy success, go and buy Moyes out of his contract deep down. He's a blue. I'd love David Moyes back at Everton, if I'm being honest with you. I'd love him back. But it ain't happening. JT says, Cam, what a fan channel's advising for communication with the club. It's really, really difficult to speak with the club from what I know. From my knowledge and experience, it's really, really difficult to speak with Everton Football Club. And, at the end of the day, we can speak with the club all we like. The club have announced, Mashiri announced that there'll be a fan representative on the board, and that's all well and good. But if that fan representative goes in on a Monday morning, let's say it's tomorrow morning, and says, listen, Farhad, I don't necessarily know if Vitor Pereira is the most sensible option, because last time he was in this situation he was relegated, fans are a little bit dubious about it, this, that and the other, what's the plan for the club, what's the future? And Farhad goes, yeah, but my mate here told me he's great, so I'm not going to listen to you. Have this football club got the, are they putting a fan representative on the board because it looks good and he can say to other fans, yeah, we've got a fan representative on the board? Or is this fan actually going to be listened to? Is their opinion going to be taken into consideration? Is what they say, because that's coming from a fan. And as I said, Vitor Pereira is just a side sort of issue to the what's going on at this football club now. What's the plan? What's the future? Serious questions need to be asked. Serious questions. Farkenbang has become a member of the channel. Thank you very much, my mate. Really appreciate it. I fear we're going to become the next Sunderland. I believe that. I agree with everybody saying that if we go down, we aren't coming back up. I agree. I think Sunderland, Leeds back in whatever it was, 02, 03. I just think, we'll put it this way, we simply, on the money that we earn from the Championship, how much less that is from the money that you earn from the Premier League, we simply won't be able to afford 99% of this squad. The wages that they're on, the contracts that they're on, we won't be able to afford them if they go down. And I dare say we'll make another bad managerial decision. I dare say we'll make another bad decision with signings. And yeah, I don't know. But listen, we've got to try and stay positive. We have. It's been quite a negative live team today, and I apologise. I don't want to be negative, but as I said, I didn't want to do a team today because I knew it would go like this. I've had a shocking last 24 hours, both with Everton and some stuff in personal life. I've had a really, really bad last day or so. Really bad last day or so. And the last thing I wanted to do was come on here and start being negative and ranting and raving and, filling everybody with negativity. I didn't want to do it. And if had the Vitor Pereira news could not come out, I wouldn't have done it, because I knew that that it would be a negative one. I knew that it would be a stream where I wasn't very positive, I wasn't very upbeat. And as I said, I wish, if it is Vitor Pereira, I hope he comes in and I hope he's the most successful manager we've ever had. I hope he's amazing. I hope he's the best thing we've ever had. And you know what? I'll give him the chance. Because he deserves it, because it's not his fault. But this football club has just took it out of me recently. Really, really took it out of me. And it isn't Vitor Pereira's fault. It's, ask ourselves, why is Vitor Pereira becoming the next Everton manager? Because if it's because the club think he'll get us into Europe, forget Europe. Forget it. Is Mashiri bringing him in because he's won league titles? Well, forget league titles. Because we're not anywhere near winning league titles, so forget that. Why aren't we looking at managers who've got experience in getting teams out of a situation, a relegation situation? Shark says Dice. Interesting one. Think he's a better fit than Vitor Pereira. Vitor Pereira in July, it'd be one that I'd look at and go, I'm not particularly keen on him, but, it's a fresh start, this, that and the other. I mean, January, midway through January when we're in a relegation zone, going for a manager who has only been in this situation once and was relegated? For what reason? Why? Where's the plan? Where's the structure? What is the structure? Macheri come out, we're looking for a manager who fits the structure. What's the structure with Vitor Pereira coming in? What's the plan? I'm sick of this nonsense. We want to win league titles. We want to be the best. We want to have a great team for when we're in a great stadium. Stop the fucking nonsense. What's the plan? How are we getting there? How are we winning titles? How are we a successful Premier League club in Bramley-Moore? Are we doing that with Fabio Cannavaro as the manager? Vitor Pereira, Roberto Martinez? Do you know if Allardyce's name is in the hat at the moment? I'm not advocating bringing Allardyce back. A lot of people wouldn't like it. A lot of people would despise it. A lot of people would go against it. A lot of people will probably dislike it, the mere fact that I've mentioned his name. But if Allardyce was seriously being considered, I would go, understand it. Bad situation, relegation battle, understand it. These managers we're being linked with, I don't get it. And that's not necessarily to say they're bad managers, but they don't fit the situation that Everton are in. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. As I said with Cannavaro, we can't afford to give a manager his opportunity to break into Europe. We can't really afford to give Vitor Pereira his opportunity to break into the Premier League. We're not in a position to be able to do that shit. We're not. I don't get it. Anyway. Check Everton says get him in. I don't know who you're referring to, but he'd make us tougher to beat, which is what we need right now. I think you're talking about Sam Allardyce. He would be the best out of this situation to School of Science. Will he be? He's a master at. And by the way, Watford are about to sack Claudio Ranieri, so Allardyce will be going to one Premier League club this year at least. And don't be surprised if Watford stay up as well. So we're talking about Newcastle getting a big boost and maybe staying up. Norwich are now an outsider. Watford get Allardyce, massive chance that they'll stay up. These positions of going down are really, really sort of, more and more teams are looking like they're looking to get out of it. Everton aren't looking like we're looking to get out of it. It's all well and good saying we'll be alright. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. Let's put a bit of realism into this situation now before we go. And again, I don't want to be negative. I want to be positive, and I'll back the manager and I'll back whoever comes in. Newcastle are currently 18th in the Premier League. They are currently on 15 points. Everton is 16th with 19 points. 4 points. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Macheri's destroyed this club, says Ned. He has. Where are we? School of Science. Luke says, Cam, if you ever need to vent, give me a message on Twitter. Mate, thank you very much, my mate. Really appreciate it. Cam, you have to get it out. It's better to vent, says Whammy. Thank you, my mate. Everton, give me the laughing disorder. The Joker suffers from, says Moza. Diego Simeone, it's not happening, is it? But I'd love him. Cam, don't apologise. It's good to vent anger. Thank you very much, Wayne. We're just crap, says James, who's a massive member, says Jem. No need to apologise, says James. Thank you very much. Yeah. We are. I don't know. I just don't know. Cam, did you see something about us making a £20 million bid for a Fenerbahce defender? It's in link to the Vitor Pereira stuff, so maybe, but yeah, we have got 2 games in hand, but I don't see us winning any of them at the minute. I don't see us beating anyone. So, but listen, let's be positive. If it is Pereira, let's get behind him and hope that he's an absolute, as I said, I hope he's wonderful. I hope he's the best manager we've ever had, and I hope his lovely, luscious looking beard is, making us all go, oh my God, he's amazing. And I hope he keeps us up. I hope we play boss football. I hope he gets these players working hard. I hope he gets these players battling, fighting, desire, because somebody's got to, haven't they? Somebody's got to. Surely there's somebody out there that can get more out of this squad. Surely. We know it's not Roberto Martinez because we've been here before. Will it be Vitor Pereira? Massive risk, but who knows? But anyway, as I said, some journalists are saying that this one is, some journalists are saying that this one is further down the line. Other journalists are saying that it's not quite as far down the line. Everton FC says, what's with the new year? Lazy that, bro. It's not lazy. We're in January still, and I just haven't changed it. And School Science says, I think this international break will be critical for Big Dung to get blood from the stone. I have faith he can get it done. Let's wait and see. If he's in charge. Someone asked to, and JC says, NSNO Cam, cheers, you on tomorrow? I am on tomorrow. Rob says, just join the chat, Cam, I'm worried, mate. We're just about to leave, mate, I apologise, but no, I am absolutely worried as well. But yeah, smash the like, everyone says unknown. Yeah, well, listen, we'll wait and see. Let's try and be positive. As I said, this isn't by any sense done. This is just reports in Portugal saying that he'll become the next Everton manager. Other reports from the likes of Fabrizio Romano and stuff are saying that no decision is being made, but he will be interviewed. So we'll wait and see on this one. And as always, we'll keep everybody updated as it goes along. We will be back tomorrow for the game review to Everton's league defeat to Villa on Saturday. So don't forget to join us for that one. And yeah. We'll be back live tomorrow. Big thanks to everybody for watching live. Really do appreciate it. As I said, sorry it's been a bit of a down, upset, sort of frustrated, negative stream. But again, I've not got many real positives to talk about Everton at the moment. So if we're going to keep talking about Everton, it's likely to go this way. If you have enjoyed this one, please hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. Wayne says, take care, Blues. Dave says, thank you, Cam. Thank you, mate. Ryan says, get Bainesy in that left back position. Smash the like button before you leave. Says unknown. Thank you very much if we could do. Josh says, Newcastle should have pasted Leeds 3-0. Knowledge look on fire now. I can't see us beating Newcastle after that showing against Villa 17th. We'll be like winning a cup at this stage. And that's how bad of a situation we find ourselves in at the moment. And how do we get out of that? I really do not know. But yeah, there was a comment here that I found before that I want to read, but I've lost it. I've lost it anyway. Yeah, anyway, look, big thanks for watching. Great stream, Cam, lad, says Joe, take care, guys, cheers. School of Science says, take care, Cam, cheers. Jem says, Night Blues, thanks, Cam, night, mate, cheers, everyone, thank you all very much for the support, really do appreciate it. Kevin says, great podcast, Cam, take care, and don't worry. Thank you, my mate. If you have enjoyed this one, please hit that like button, it only takes a second, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We will be back tomorrow, so join us for that one. If you're watching this YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below, and we'll get involved. Massive thanks to everybody in the comments, and sorry I couldn't get involved with all of them, but I really do appreciate all the support. Big thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.